Everybody, gotta let you know that I have had my first experience with dumping. I admit that I didn't really understand what dumping was all about, simply because the people that I watch didn't really define to me what dumping was. I thought that dumping was just a nice way of saying throwing up. Silly me. I saw my nutritionist, and like always, talking about what I eat and stuff like that. And I mentioned to her that something happened to me, and I didn't know what it was, and that it left me feeling really weird. That it left me feeling very nauseous and stuff. She asked me to explain what it was that I felt, and I told her, basically that it was that I felt extremely nauseous. I felt like things were like I was a little bit off balance, that I had the sensation that at any moment I was gonna throw up, that I felt like my stomach was just doing cartwheels, and that I had a little bit of a disgusted sensation. And she told me, that's dumping. And I said, that's dumping? That's what dumping is? It's not throwing up? And she said, no, that dumping is, that whole body reaction to something that you have had that you shouldn't have. And I was like, ooh. Then she asked me, what did I have? Okay. The good thing about me being a patient in all this is that I'm not lying about anything. I don't lie about what I have done and what I haven't done. I don't lie about what I ate and what I didn't eat. What's the point of lying? So I told her, that we had gone on a car trip, a car ride, and we ended up in Punta Arenas. And this is a city, by the beach. It's very hot there, almost similar to like Florida weather. Similar, not exactly, but similar. And every time I go, it's like sweat, sweat, sweat. Uncomfortable with the heat. I don't go to the beach. So my reward when we go there is that I will have what they refer to as a Churchill. And it's only found there in Punta Arenas. The rest of Costa Rica offers it in its original version. They call it a granizado. And this is basically Costa Rica's version of a snow cone. And what is a snow cone but a bunch of shaved ice with flavored syrup? And I've had this already over here. They do the shaved ice, some shaved ice. They put powdered milk, another layer of shaved ice, another layer of powdered milk, shaved ice, and they pour flavored syrup on top, and you eat it with a spoon or suck it up with a straw. And I've had this already, a small one, and nothing has happened to me. They also top it with a little bit of condensed milk. So we went to Punta Arenas, and I had this Churchill. The only difference is that they put a scoop of ice cream on top. So okay, I'm sharing with my mom, no problem, and I'm perfectly fine. The condensed milk, they give it to you on the side. They give you a little can like this. It's the cutest little thing, and you just pour the condensed milk And I did, you know, I poured a little bit and I was having it. By the time we got to like less than half, most of the ice had already melted. So it was, you know, mixed well with the syrup and the milk and, you know, whatever was left over of ice cream. And we still had some condensed milk in the can, and I just poured it all in there, you know, mixed it up with the spoon. When I tasted the spoon, it did feel a little sweet. But since I hadn't had a problem with that before surgery, and since I've been very tolerant of a lot of things, I really didn't think that anything was going to happen. Plus, because of the fact that I have been under the impression, just me, that only those that have had RNY are the ones that are very delicate with sweets. So I didn't think anything, and I started, you know, I took a big gulp, and as soon as it touched the back of my tongue and started going down my throat, I knew immediately that that was a huge mistake, what I had just done. My stomach, I felt like it immediately started turning. I immediately started feeling nauseous. I had the sensation that I wanted to throw up. Started having some uncomfortableness, my stomach. I felt, you know, like a little bit lightheaded, or, you know, I mean, it was just nauseous. I felt like if I was dizzy or something. Even had a little bit of a cold sweat at one point. When we were heading towards the car, I mean, I felt so bad. And I felt so bad that my mom noticed without even asking me, because she wasn't with me at that moment. And as soon as she saw me walk in, she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I am not feeling good at all." And I had even told her, if I tell you to stop the car, you need to stop the car, because I'm going to throw up. That's how bad I felt. Luckily, this only lasted for like 30-45 minutes, the worst part. But still, like 2 hours, you know, into it, I was still feeling a little bit delicate. But anyways, I told her, my nutritionist, that that's what I had. And she told me, well, first of all, what you had, what your reaction was, that's dumping. And I was like, oh, really? Wow. And I was like, well, you know, I've had my first experience with dumping, and now I know what dumping is, and okay, no problem. And then, you know, she scolded me for having the Churchill, and I knew that I shouldn't have had it, but we go to Punta Arenas maybe 2 times a year, so whatever, you know, I mean, I wanted to have some, and I had some, and I had my first experience with dumping, and I know what that feels like now, and I know that I am not going to allow myself to get to that point again. Some of us have to learn from our mistakes. I am one of those people. But I'm, you know, honest enough to admit it. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I'm not going to do it again. Dumping.